Destiny is how you got into this moment. This is your destiny. Wherever you are right now, in this exact moment, this is your destiny. We spend a lot of time looking back, thinking about how we got to this point, or what are the things that we did, what all this we had to go through. And we forget that in this moment we are creators of destiny. If you waste the time you have now thinking about what happened, then what is the future for you? You're always going to be looking back. You're always going to be looking back. Your destiny doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. Everything is unfolding exactly the way it should. And in this moment, as we talk, as you listen, as you act, as you think, you are creating destiny every moment. Now what do we do? What is the, if I asked you to keep a log of your thoughts during the day, 50% of your thoughts will be about what happened, and 50% about what's going to happen. Regrets about your past, anxieties about the future. Am I right? Am I right? Mm-hmm. Who is thinking about right now? Yesterday I was listening to Ayyar, and he was telling a really simple story which I found really amusing. You go to how you create misery for yourself, right? So you go to a supermarket and you're waiting in line, and the person in front of you is busy chit-chatting with the cashier's chit-chatting with the woman, and the line's not moving, and you've got somewhere to go, and then you're already thinking, why do they hire such stupid people? I've got so many things to do, I've got so much stuff to do. People belonging to this race are always like this. See how your thoughts go. And by the time you reach the counter, you are absolutely annoyed. And then you're rude to her because you are annoyed. Says, I don't have time to talk now, when she starts a conversation with you. And she takes on your negativity. And she's going to pass it on to the next person that comes. When actually all that happened is you were standing with your cart and looking around. Beyond that, nothing happened. What was the rest? Little stories in your head. Little stories about what you deserve, what you're anxious about, your conditioning, all the negativity that's come up, your prejudices, your annoyances, your tendency to complain, all of that was happening. But in actuality, what happened? You were just standing, looking around. That's the physical reality of the moment. And that's the difference between feeling that your destiny is abundance and feeling that your life really sucks. I was just talking to a friend who, 20 minutes told me stories about how she suffered at the hands of her in-laws. And I was just thinking, after I listened for about 15 minutes, and I said, okay, now you've told me everything. Now I don't want you to think about this anymore. Neither are your in-laws here. You are alone with your husband, but every waking thought is about them. Obviously you feel your life is useless. What are you thinking about? What are the quality of your thoughts? And the funny thing was, because she complained, I complained too. And then I said, wait a minute, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you complaining? You know that you don't need to think about this anymore. About your situation. So that's what happens. The negativity, I know we started with destiny, I'll try to bring it back to that, but I've moved into something else. I hope it's okay. So, your negativity is like a bad disease. It's a contagious disease. It spreads very easily, and it spreads much faster than positivity. Now here I am, every week sitting, talking nice things, good things. How many people am I bringing? Right? But if I open up a drinking bar with free booze, I'll have 40 people here. What is not good for you is much more attractive than what is good for you. Much more attractive. And you'll be listening, you'll be talking to someone, having a decent conversation, and someone will make that political comment. And immediately you've gone there. Your mind has gone to that. Drawn like a magnet. Every time you think about your past, every time you express fear about your future, you are spreading doom and gloom. And I want you all to be messengers of happiness. I want you to embody that quality, that happiness is your birthright. And I want you to spread that wherever you go. Give up the tendency to talk about negative things. Just give it up. And more important than that is the awareness to catch it. We get into it, we have a very strong conditioning, you see. Unfortunately, negative things are much more interesting. So we've taught our subconscious, we've taught our mind to find it interesting. And immediately you catch on to it. Very rare do you find a person who stands aloof when there is negative conversation going around. You tend to pitch in too. And you say, yeah, that happened to me too. My boss is also treating me like this. Oh, I remember the time. Then you start recalling all the terrible times that your boss treated you badly and made you feel like a heel. You have to catch yourselves. Because as long as you're thinking depressing, demeaning, self-deprecating, victim thoughts, you're never going to have a bright and beautiful destiny. It's always going to be miserable. Because this is what your present moment is filled with. So you have to, at several times during the day, stand with that shopping cart and look around. Get into the action. actual physicality of what is happening. Without the garbage, after all, what is, thoughts will come. You can't stop thoughts, right? But thoughts can come, and as soon as you say, there is that critical thought, it bursts. Like when I tell you during meditation, what are you thinking about now? And then you think, okay, now what am I thinking about now? And you really can't remember because it's already burst. Thoughts will come, thoughts will go. The ones that stay are the ones that our body physically reacts to with emotions and feelings. Emotions and feelings arise from within the body. So thoughts that are emotionally charged become stored in your subconscious as impressions, and they repeat. They repeat. Because now the mind knows, this is a good one. Let's throw this at her. Let's throw this one at her. Someone says you've got a very big fat stomach. You're sensitive about your stomach. You don't want anyone making comments about it, right? And the last time you got irritated and you yelled at the person saying that, I don't need you to judge me. Oh, the mind knows it. Again and again and again, it'll look for people making innuendos. Make connections where they're not even there. Create dramas and stories that don't even exist. What are you thinking about? What are you thinking about? And as I finish this and we finish this conversation and we finish our meditation, immediately the conversations will start about all the problems in the world. I don't want that. You are not messengers of doom and gloom. Any nonsense can be happening anywhere in the world to anybody. You have to search. Even in the midst of all your pain and suffering, you have to search for little pockets of happiness. Some reason to smile. Some reason to change that energy about you. Catch yourself as you complain. Catch yourself as you're spreading this aura of misery. Because you are all messengers of peace, messengers of happiness. You meditate. That is huge, huge. What percentage of the world takes the time to meditate? And if you don't meditate, then you need to meditate every day, every single day, without fail. You're doing yourself a huge disservice. You don't meditate and then wonder why you're unhappy. You don't meditate and then wonder why you're in pain and you're suffering and you're miserable and why things are not working out for you and why nothing is going the way it pleased, why your relationships are not good, why the money is not coming, why the fame is not coming, why the success is not coming. No one is saying you don't have to chase all those things. Yes, you do. But instead of a hankering, it can be action towards it. Just like standing, holding a cart, doing nothing, looking around. Keep that image in your head when things get too much, when you catch yourself. Become that lady in the supermarket holding a cart and doing nothing. I love that image. I love that image. I think it's a simple story, but such an important lesson to learn. Such an important lesson, which is our greatest enemies are our own minds, our own, that whole internal chatter. That is your biggest enemy. Once you recognize that, you've won everything. You won everything. Make this moment a moment where you create a great, abundant, bountiful, peace-loving, compassionate destiny for yourself. Om Namah Shivaya.